Hiya! I'm in a massive colonial building nested in the bottom of a canyon that served for refining precious metals. This is the former hacienda of Santa Maria Regla. Haciendas were big estates dedicated to producing goods. The ex-hacienda of Santa Maria Regla is located at the beginning of a large canyon, formed by volcanic rocks. The hacienda is in Huasca de Ocampo, in Hidalgo state. The Count of Regla, Pedro Romero de Terreros, built it in the 18th century. He was a very rich man, and he built not only this, but another 2 haciendas nearby. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to show you the other haciendas. Santa Maria Regla was built to refine gold and silver extracted in the near town Real del Monte, the mining town with British connections that we showed you in another video. If you like to visit this town, it is about 30-minute drive from here. Mineral ores were brought and refined in these forges to cast silver and gold ingots. Mineral refining requires a lot of water, so an aqueduct was built in the hacienda to catch water from the river. Within the hacienda, there is a chapel, a common feature for most of the haciendas back then. Also, there are multiple underground tunnels, so many that it feels like a labyrinth. This was sometimes exploited by the workers to smuggle a bit of gold or silver. I have explained to you how work was done in the hacienda, but in a deeper level, something darker was going on. So let me tell you how they operated. Haciendas were massive complexes dedicated to manufacturing goods, like plants, fruits, fabrics, alcoholic drinks, precious metals, etc. They were usually owned by a single wealthy person or family of Spanish origin, and the workers were mostly indigenous Mexicans. The property served as a magnificent residence for the owners, as a factory for whatever they produced, and as a housing place for the workers and their families. The workers received a salary for their work. However, the bills for food and accommodation provided by the hacienda managers were always higher than their salary. Therefore, they accumulated debts that had to be paid with a life of work. These debts could even be inherited by their children. Thus, this was a slavery under a different name. And this was true for most of the haciendas during the colonial period in Mexico. But that was the past, and the old production practices have been abandoned. Currently, Santa Maria Regla is a lovely hotel with a pool and restaurant that can host special events. You might be familiar with this hacienda. Some scenes from the movie The Mask of Zorro were filmed here.
Good morning, señorita.
Give it back.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
And now we're heading for a lovely walk in the bottom of the canyon by the riverside, which holds a lovely surprise in the end. Finally, we reach the end of the path, which uncovers the Cascade La Rosa, just as Alexander von Humboldt saw it. This was the former Hacienda of Santa Maria Regla, a beautiful place to visit with hundreds of years of history and a dark past. To visit this and many other places in Mexico, visit our website. Bye now!